When you're in the deepest, darkest PR hole imaginable, just stop digging, right? Just stop making it worse. That would be the advice that virtually every celebrity in the world would take, apart from the narcissist in chief, Meghan Markle, who has decided that donating a few pieces of merch from Billie Eilish should be the subject of national and actually international attention to show us that this is a woman who really cares about the people. This was one of the most extraordinary social media car crashes I have ever seen. We're going to be getting analysis live from Link Lawrence stateside in just one moment. But first, you've got to see it for yourself. Here's Meg.
Just told that something arrived that I have been waiting for. Oh my God. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, when my husband and I were in Altadena, we went to a community where all the homes were left in ashes. This mom had found a couple things, and as I was talking to her, I turned and looked and I saw this young woman and I said, "Oh my gosh, how old are you?" She's 15. She lives there. And her mom shared something with me and said that when they came back to see their house for the first time, which is as we were meeting them, that all that she'd been looking for in her home was the t-shirt from the Billie Eilish concert that she had just gone to that she left in the washing machine or the dryer. And of course, they now see their home and the washing machine and the dryer are ash. They're not there anymore. And so I said, "Well, I don't know Billie Eilish, but I'm going to figure out how to get you this shirt." So I thought of everybody that I knew and I made a voice note and I was like, "Please, can someone get this voice note to Billie Eilish? Here's what I'm asking." You guys, I don't even know what all of this stuff means, but it's signed for her. Is that a thing? The lunchbox thing? I don't know. This is when I feel really old. Huge thank you, Billie Eilish. This is going to mean so much to her. And honestly, to Adam Levine and Bahati, you guys helped get this over the line. To everyone who's showing up for people in big and small ways to get through what's happened in California, just thank you so much. I'm going to go and email her mom now. Just wanted to share that with you guys.
Meghan Markle just pulled one of the most embarrassing PR moves we've ever seen, and even her usual defenders in the media can't spin this one. This time she thought it would be a brilliant idea to film herself helping a wildfire victim by, wait for it, getting them a Billie Eilish t-shirt. You can't make this up. Now I want you to just think about this for a second. A family loses their entire home in a devastating wildfire. And Meghan Markle thinks the best way to show her compassion and generosity is to make a self-glorifying Instagram video about how she pulled some strings to get a girl a t-shirt. Is this real life? Folks, this is peak Meghan Markle. It's never about the people she's supposedly helping, it's always about her. This wasn't a video about a fire survivor. This was a video about Meghan proving how good she is. It's the same playbook she used for her Spotify podcast, her Netflix documentary, and every single phony PR stunt she's ever done. And guess what? It's backfiring, big time.
You wanted to share it with us, did you, Meghan? Your only piece of charity in a very, very long time. And we all have to hear about it because in Meghan's world, if it's not charity shared, then it didn't happen. You can imagine the response to this. Spencer Morgan posted to me on X a nearly 2-minute reel on messaging a celebrity to message a celebrity to get some free t-shirts and a lunchbox from our friend Lilani Dowding. OMFG. She can't even give some free merch to a kid who's lost everything without trying to gain some credit. It's like 5 effing t-shirts. Northy Damus posted, or Megsy could have just ordered them from Billy's online shop. This is going to be the new dish soap story, isn't it? When I was 48, I got a teenager a lunchbox. Yes, I think we'll never hear the end of it. And the Royal Grift posted, the fact Meghan has to name drop is sad. I bet Catherine could pick up the phone and call Billie Eilish directly. Had this woman been called Meghan Markle actually been serious about the royal family, she could have done the same. Stupid idiot. Oh, goodness me. Link Lawrence, so great to have you here. Of course, first time on Outspoken, but Link is a TikTok sensation who came to international prominence as a senior advisor to RFK Jr. But Link, I know, having seen you on my friend Meghan Kelly's show and on your own posts, I know you have strong feelings about Ms. Markle, so I've been dying to hear what you make of this Instagram post.
Yes, thanks for having me. Great to be with you, Dan. First off, that video was way too long. That thing went on and on. I felt like I was being verbally waterboarded. That was miserable and painful to watch. I also have to say, I used to think, Dan, and I've had this war in my mind, right? I used to think Meghan Markle was this conniving, cunning con artist who worked her way into the royal family, probably some other words that start with a C as well. But now I just think she's a bird brain fool. I don't know if she's had a traumatic brain injury. I don't know if she's hit her head too many times on the headboard, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. But Meghan Markle, anybody with a cursory understanding of PR would not have posted that video. Charity and altruism is about doing good even when you don't get credit, right? You don't need credit for getting this girl a couple of t-shirts. And we'll get to the fact that she was traipsing through people's rubble with paparazzi in tow in a second. I just have to say, imagine your house has burned down and this woman comes up to you with a mask on. She's like, "Hi, it's the Duchess of Sussex. How can I help you?" This little girl is probably like, "Who? Where is Sussex? Can Meghan Markle even find Sussex on a map?" I think I have spent more time in Sussex than Meghan Markle has, okay? She's really milking this title, the Duchess of Sussex. So she goes up to this little girl. I have a hard time believing that this girl says the thing she misses the most from her entire home burning down is this Billie Eilish merch. But even if that is the case, even if this actually happened, why do you need to go and post to get credit for it? And the only reason she's doing this is she has the Invictus Games coming up, and then she has her Netflix show, which is pushed back to March 4th. So she's trying to ingratiate herself to the public, to curry favor, to be liked again. But
now let's talk about why this is so unbelievably stupid from a PR perspective. Link Lauren says it best. Anyone with even a basic understanding of how PR works would know that you don't do this. When you're in the middle of a complete PR meltdown, the rule is simple. Stop digging. But Meghan? She's the queen of doubling down. Instead of laying low and actually doing something meaningful, she decides to drop this ridiculous self-centered video. Why? Because in her narcissistic world, everything has to be about her brand, her image, and her being the good guy. Oh, give me a break. You're telling me that Meghan Markle, Miss Hollywood elite, the woman who hobnobs with Oprah, Ellen, and every woke A-lister, had to figure out how to get a concert t-shirt? It's a t-shirt, Meghan, not a kidney transplant.
What's funny about Meghan Markle, speaking to her being a bird brain and not, the sharpest tool in the shed, she's going, "How was I ever going to get this merchandise? I had no idea how I was going to find it, but I knew I had a mission. I was going to track down this Billie Eilish merch for this girl." Meghan, I went last night. You can buy the shirts, the lunchbox, the thermos on Billie Eilish's website. I don't understand why it took her 10,000 phone calls to get a couple of t-shirts. And I think she just wanted to name drop Adam Levine. She's like, "I have to thank Adam Levine and his gorgeous wife, Bihati. Not as gorgeous as me, but I have to thank Bihati and Adam Levine." Meghan, you are a clown. You are a fool. The people in America, they are not into you. I don't know if she thought she was going to come over here and have this great, illustrious career, but we're over it, okay? We're done. This video was contrived. I don't need to see anything like this again, Dan.
Oh my goodness, I know. I thought exactly the same thing about Adam Levine. Like, why are you name dropping him? Like, the poor guy has never been linked to you publicly, and now all of a sudden we know he's one of those secret celebrity friends of Meghan Markle. Kerry Washington is another, Jessica Alba is another, who are basically friends with Meghan Markle behind the scenes, but are aware of the fact that she is so toxic now, even amongst Americans, that they do not want to be publicly associated with her. And of course, Link, this follows hot on the heels of the Vanity Fair expose that revealed Beyonce turned down her invitation, even though apparently they used to be friends. This is to go on her Archetypes podcast. And look, you're much younger and cooler than me, so you probably know a lot about this person. I didn't. But someone called, is it Megan Thee Stallion? Have I got that right?
Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion. She's a rapper. Yeah.
Yeah, even she turned her down. And I just found it astonishing. Meghan Markle who could have been, if she'd stayed and she'd actually done the hard work, could have been the new Princess Diana. She had the opportunity to do that. Now she's been turned down by someone called Meghan the Stallion and is unable to even get a phone number for Billie Eilish because it's, not surely that difficult to do that if you're a princess.
Right. Well, can I also just say, she is so pretentious and full of herself. How come every time she names something, it's like archetypes or American Riviera Orchard? I mean, it hurts my teeth to even say American Riviera Orchard. I feel like I need to go get a root canal every time I say it. It's painful. How is she coming up with names for these things? Archetypes, it's a word barely anybody ever uses. The podcast was a flop. And let's not forget, Dan, I'm sure you remember and your audience remembers, when Meghan Markle announced Archetypes, it was supposed to be this groundbreaking podcast where she was going to sit down with world leaders and thought leaders. She ended up having Andy Cohen on. And Andy Cohen, okay, he invented the housewives. That's great. I thought she was going to sit down with Michelle Obama, Oprah, these actual world leaders. It was like Andy Cohen. So that podcast was a flop as well, and she couldn't even keep that going.
This is exactly why people are mocking her nonstop right now. And this, folks, is the core of the problem. Meghan Markle is incapable of doing anything without making herself the center of attention. Every time she helps someone, it comes with a camera crew, a dramatic monologue, and an entire PR strategy. You know what real humanitarians do? They help people quietly. They donate, they work behind the scenes, they don't feel the need to make everything a personal brand moment. But Meghan? She just can't resist. She is her own biggest fan, and it's pathetic. Bingo. This wasn't about helping a fire survivor. This was about shifting the narrative. Meghan has been getting roasted in the press for her failed business ventures, for her collapsing Hollywood career, and for alienating even her former allies. So what does she do? She cooks up a little PR stunt and expects the world to clap for her. But guess what? No one's buying it anymore.
I know. I know. And the thing is, it's this tiny pool of I would call them D-listers at best, right? Like, the woman who was in The Office, Mindy Kaling. Oh,
right.
Gosh, someone in Suits, Abigail Spencer.
It's always supposed to be her best friend. She's like, my best friends are coming over to cook for my new reality show. She's barely met these people, maybe once or twice. Whenever she says, these are my close friends coming over to film with me, and we're going to bake little ladybug bread, and we're going to bake little gourmet donuts, even though, the state is burning down and people can't afford food or water. But nonetheless, these are my best friends who are coming over. Sweetheart, she barely knows those people. I can tell you that for a fact.
No, she doesn't. And the thing is, this has always been her trick, because when it came to her own wedding, right, she thought, I'm going to use it to make the A-list friends that I always wanted when I was a D-list sort of little known actress on Suits. Look, I know Suits has become pretty popular lately, but I'd never heard of Meghan Markle, being totally honest, before she was with Prince Harry. So to the wedding, she invited Oprah. She invited George Clooney. I mean, she hadn't met these people, or if she had met them, she'd only met them because she was inviting them to her wedding. And all of those people, and maybe this says something about them too, have turned their back, because Hollywood celebrities have a particular narcissism to them. That means that they are happy to be with you when you're on the way up and while you can offer them something. But if there's the possibility of them being dragged down, and in fact, we've seen it, haven't we, over the past few weeks with Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, they just don't want to know you.
Absolutely. I mean, Meghan Markle is radioactive. Everything she touches turns to crap. I mean, Prince Harry's book was very successful. He sold a lot of copies of that book, but it's also because he was selling out his family and giving family secrets and writing about how he had an argument and a fight with his brother. I mean, these are people who said, we want privacy, we don't like to be hounded by paparazzi, but they're only willing to share glimpses into their personal life if they are getting paid handsomely. And let's not forget the original Netflix show from, I believe, December of 2022, the 6-part docuseries. These are people who said they wanted privacy, and then they had 1,000 pictures of Archie. She had videos of Archie, grasping for a portrait of Diana. Come on, you people say you want privacy. Everything is up for consumption if there's a dollar amount to it. But Meghan Markle is pretty much persona non grata. I mean, nobody really wants to associate with her in Hollywood. And as I've said for a long time, my thesis is she should have stayed in the royal family much longer. She totally blew it. For someone who used to be a briefcase girl on Deal or No Deal, she sure fumbled the bag. She could only handle being in the royal family for 18 months and then absconded to the United States. If she had stayed for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, she could have moved to Los Angeles and then really been revered as royalty. But now she's basically a wannabe Kardashian reality star. And if she's lucky, Kris Jenner might come along and manage her.
Well, they are friends.
For her career.
They are friends. I mean, but I don't even think Kris Jenner would want to put her children's reputation at risk. Because,
well, the thing is, the Kardashians, they whore themselves out, and they have for 20 years, but they're honest about it, right? Meghan Markle tries to say, oh, I'm above it. I'm the Duchess of Sussex. Like I said, I think she spent about 5 hours in Sussex, but nonetheless, she really doesn't want to admit that she's just a low down, dirty, rotten reality star, just like the Kardashians and the Real Housewives. How is what you're doing, selling your family and selling access and using things for clout, any different than the Kardashians, Dan? I apologize for stepping on you.
Let's talk about the real reason Meghan is doing these embarrassing PR stunts. Because her brand is collapsing. Hollywood isn't interested anymore. Her Netflix deal is on life support. Spotify dropped her like a bad habit. And her new business ventures are going absolutely nowhere. You can always tell when a celebrity is losing influence, because they start pulling these desperate publicity stunts. Meghan thought she could coast off the royal brand forever, but now that people are tuning out, she's scrambling. And this Billie Eilish nonsense? It's proof that she has no idea what she's doing. At this point, Meghan Markle has become a joke. Every time she tries to fix her image, she just makes it worse.
What's so funny is, what did you say? Low down, dirty reality star. They are the only
low down,
people.
dirty, gutter, bottom of the barrel.
Well, I love that because they seem to be the only people who are now prepared to defend Meghan publicly. Because have you heard of this woman called Aubrey O'Day? Do you know about her?
Aubrey O'Day, yes. So she was a member of a girl group, the Pussycat Dolls, about 1,000 years ago. Yes.
Got it. Because she sort of came for me yesterday when I posted about Meghan. Oh, she came for you?
What did she say?
Well, she said, I love that she did this, and I live in LA. Help is help. Compassion is compassion. Decency is decency. And then she said, what did you do? And the point is, Link, I'm not going to tell her what I did, because I actually have a big belief that when you are doing genuine acts of good, you shouldn't be public about that. And it's actually something I've learned over the years the hard way too, because what I've realized is when you are very public about your charity causes, it can then be used against you when you're cancelled, and so actually I mean, I am the total opposite of Meghan. Everything I do privately. I don't talk about, and I sort of think that's what you should do, right? Like ordinary folk don't go and shout about, oh, I've just donated money to this or whatever. So I disagreed with that, but I guess the thing I found most interesting though is that the only people who are really prepared to stick their neck out on the line now are people like this Aubrey O'Day. Like none of her big celebrity friends defending her.
Well, the day I start taking career and life advice from Aubrey O'Day is the day I retire. I might as well go live on an island if I'm taking life advice from Aubrey O'Day. But, speaking to your point and what we've been saying, altruism and charity is about doing good even when nobody is looking, right? And if I'd been advising Meghan, let's just say she does want to get some PR out of this. If I'd been advising Meghan, I would have said, don't post your video. Why don't we try and get the girl to film a TikTok reacting to opening this wonderful package, right? Why don't you get the girl to film a video opening it saying, oh my God, thank you, Meghan, da-da-da-da-da. But Meghan's posting it before the girl has even received the items. What kind of a surprise is that?
This Billie Eilish stunt? Embarrassing. Her desperate attempt to stay relevant? Not working. Hollywood is moving on and the world is waking up to her act. So what's next? More cringeworthy PR stunts? More fake humanitarian moments? Maybe she'll film herself giving someone a Starbucks gift card next. Who knows? But one thing's for sure. People are done falling for it.